Our bodies are our gardens, and our wills are our gardeners. Hello, I'm Loretta Zajac, and welcome to the Speech Diaries. What exactly is willpower? According to an article in Psychology Today written by Dr. Ron Brazil, willpower is the ability for people to resist short-term temptations in order to achieve long-term goals. In that article, Brazil also points out that learning willpower or self-control in childhood is a major predictor in the mental and physical health as well as financial security in adulthood. When you think about it, that does make a lot of sense. I can just imagine how much more confidence I would have had I learned willpower or self-control as a child. Doesn't matter. We're here and now, and we're going to make things better. If I were to currently rate the level of willpower that I'm at on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably have to go with a 3. I know, not very much. I'm weak, what can I say? But what I have learned so far on my journey of self-discovery is that when you marry your self-control with a tool, it makes it a lot more easier to succeed. Let me give you an example. I am currently using the Weight Watchers app. And every day I have a certain number of points that I am allowed to consume according to this app. So I put down my food intake for the day and I see at the bottom the total number of points. It also has a scanner on this app which can scan barcodes and immediately give you the number of points per serving a specific food item has, which is great. Often when I go to the grocery store, I'll take out my phone, go into my Weight Watchers app, and scan certain barcodes to see if those points are worth consuming or are they too much? Are they going to take away from other nutritious foods that I'm going to have through the day? This has done wonders for my food choices. Plus, the more that I do this, I am noticing that the greater my self-control or willpower becomes. I'm strengthening it. It is possible. Why isn't willpower constant? This is something that I've found to be true on this journey. The issue that I'm struggling with is financial or gambling. I have never been financially secure. In fact, I've always struggled with finances. And that's because I think as a child at a very young age, I was always given everything I wanted. I didn't have to save. I didn't have to do chores in order to get anything. It was always given to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming my parents. They wanted to do the best for me and give me everything I wanted because I think they thought that's how to express their love. They both worked full time, so I didn't really have a family structure or a family core. We rarely had sit down meals at the dinner table or go for family outings. The only vacation that I ever went on with my family as a whole was to Poland in 1967. And we went for 3 weeks, and it was the most wonderful 3 weeks that I have ever encountered. It was full of family, full of celebration, full of new experiences. I loved that, and I yearned for it throughout my life. The only time that my family got together for dinner was at Christmas or Easter or other family functions like weddings and that sort of thing, but never on a regular basis. Plus, both my parents enjoyed gambling and gaming, and what they would do back then, because there weren't casinos around like there are now, is horse racing. I remember at a young age going to the horse track and being with my parents. My mother also was a bingo fanatic. She would go to bingo all the time, in the afternoon, in the evening, whenever she could. My mom, my aunt, and my grandmother would always be at bingo. I spent a good portion of my childhood at a bingo hall. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist or any qualified professional, but when you think about it, or when I look back, I think that the reason that this addiction is so difficult for me to quash is because those were the quality times that I spent with my mother, something I yearned for, a strong, solid relationship. And even with my father to some extent, although I was closer with him. I yearned for a deep rooted relationship with my mother, and the one place I could find that, at least in my youth, was at a bingo hall, gambling. So it makes sense, I suppose, that that is a place that I find temporary comfort. Of course, I've come to realize that this is all mental manipulation as far as my circumstances are concerned. All smoke and mirrors. I'm presented with an illusion that appears very real to me in the moment, but the reality is not the same as the illusion. In fact, it's quite the opposite. For example, the credit card. That is an illusion that you have X number of dollars that you can spend. And in your mind, you think, this is my money. In reality, it's not yours, it's somebody else's, and you have to pay it back with interest. In the moment, it's an easy fix, but in the long term, there are consequences if you don't pay it on time. Another illusion, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Have you ever thought about how Peter feels? I mean, he's going to get upset. Paul might be happy, but not Peter. Plus, it can definitely smear your credit rating, which is something you need to establish in order to purchase major items like a home or a vehicle or other things that you're interested in getting over time. And of course, the biggest illusion, the slot machine. I'm going to hit an instant jackpot and it's going to solve all my problems. You imagine the cashier coming and giving you all that money. And your mind is content with the illusion of what you're imagining temporarily. And the worst thing that can happen for a first-time gambler is winning big, because then you think you are invincible, unstoppable. You're lucky. And you're going to keep on getting those jackpots. Money's just going to come flowing in. And then you start losing. And then you start chasing those losses. And that's one race you will never win. Slot machines are programmed to pay out randomly. And also, keep in mind, they're programmed that the house wins. And there is another illusion that we try to tell ourselves over and over again. I'll start saving tomorrow. Reality? Tomorrow never comes. It's easy to submit to instant gratification, but the long-term reality, that's something you really need to focus on. According to the American Psychological Association, willpower is considered a limited resource. However, there are ways you can strengthen it. The best way is to avoid temptation. In Walter Mischel's study, preschoolers were given a choice between having one marshmallow right away or eating 2 marshmallows later on. What they discovered was that the children who looked directly at the marshmallow were less likely to resist. You know what they say, out of sight, out of mind. And that definitely holds true with willpower. Another tactic that the APA suggests is a method called the if-then strategy. For example, if you get invited out to dinner, then make sure you only select healthy choices from the menu. I've used this quite often in my past, and even now it does help. If I'm going to Swiss Chalet, then I will select a quarter chicken breast, white meat, and salad. No fries. So as long as I have that plan in place and I use it, then my willpower is rocking. So those are just a couple of ways that can help with willpower. And I think that your willpower becomes stronger the more that you use it as a resource, the more that you think about what you're doing, the more you're mindful of your approaches to any type of goal that you have. Just keep your eyes on the prize and your garden flourishing.